station, waiting for that train to take me away.
Hey everybody, it's Michael C. Kelly, and I wanted to give you the January 2018 update for Rails Around Indiana. I just finished processing a rather large batch of images from David Rosie, which has brought our image count to over 750. I'm going to share some of those images throughout the video here. We also have a rather large batch of images that I'm still processing from Brad McClelland, and yet another batch of images due in the next couple of weeks from Brian Veek. And that'll bring our image count to over 850, and that sounds like, wow, you should be able to go to print now, because that's a lot of images. I mean, surely it's covered. No, it's not, because like I said in the last video, Indiana is very dense, and there are still some lines that don't have any representation or need a little more. Still some holes in the map that need to be filled in, so I'm going to try to go through that list here really quick. For the B&O on the Chicago main line, be the segment between Walkerton and Garrett, a little east of Garrett. Main line through Indianapolis to Cincinnati, from the Illinois state line through Rochdale and Indianapolis and out to about Connorsville. We've got Connorsville to Cincinnati covered, but just need to get west of Connorsville. And the Louisville branch, which is not very often photographed, from North Vernon down to Louisville. And dropping down the C&O will be the segment between North Judson and Muncie. With the exception of Peru, we've got some pretty good images at Peru, so that's covered. On the C and EI, it would be the main line between Terre Haute and Vincennes. The Louisville and Nashville, pretty much the entire main line between Mount Vernon and Evansville. On the Milwaukee Road, Jasonville south and east through Seymour to Westport. And on the Monon, looking to find images of the Indianapolis branch from Monon to Indianapolis, the Michigan City branch from Monon north to Michigan City, and then the French Lick branch. We've got one shot at French Lick. Would like to represent that branch a little more with maybe a couple shots around Paoli. The main line south to Louisville would be Bedford to just southeast of Salem. Down to the New York Central, we're looking for the P&E main line through Crawfordsville to Indianapolis. The Big Four to Cincinnati through Greensburg, and that would include the Franklin branch. Anderson to Rushville through Greensburg to North Vernon, where it met up with the B&O south to Louisville. The St. Louis main line, Avon to Terre Haute. Surprisingly, it still needs to be filled in. The line from Indianapolis to Lafayette and northwest of there through Sheldon. And then the Egyptian line, the Indiana segment between Chicago and Danville, Illinois, needs to be filled in, and that'll round out the New York Central. The Nickel Plate, pretty much the cloverleaf between Petersburg to Bluffton. I've got a couple images at Kokomo, one at Marion, but that's really about it. And then also the Fort Wayne main line. Have a few shots around Fort Wayne, a couple of shots at Hobart, but that's it. So we're looking to fill those in. Surprisingly, I do have a couple of shots at Noblesville and Tipton. Pensy. Quite a bit of the Pensy still needs to be filled in. I've got Dunreath to Richmond covered now, thanks to Dave, and some of those images are what you're seeing here. Indianapolis to Dunreath, so pretty much west of Dunreath. We're looking for Indianapolis to Brazil, and then the Indianapolis to Louisville line, including the Madison branch. Indy to Vincennes needs to be filled in. I lived for a little while in Mooresville, so that would be neat to fill in. Mooresville, Martinsville, down through Gosport and that stretch there. The Fort Wayne main line, the Chicago main line. the Logansport cluster, the INF branch from Indianapolis up to Frankfurt. And then there was a branch that ran from Frankfurt to Terre Haute that not too many knew about or photographed. That would be a pretty neat find. And then the line from Marion to Union City, and that'll round out the Pensy. The only segment of the Wabash that I'm looking for is the Chicago to Montpelier and Detroit main line across northern Indiana. So that's where we are. I'm looking to fill in a lot more of those spots before Dave Chrysler and I can say, okay, it's time. We're ready to move from the photo gathering stage into the writing phase and start laying this book out. But we expect this book to be over 200 pages with over 500 images and a lot of depth, maps and history and so forth. A similar comparison would be the Rails Around Missouri book from 2013. That'll give you a good idea of how deep we're going to go into Indiana. So at any rate, that's the update for January. And if you have any questions or comments, either leave that on this post or contact me through Facebook, and we'll get back to you. Okay, thanks.
Hear my train coming.